What's up guys, Adam here with Power Sports Builds, and in today's video we're going to be finishing up pretty much every component on this bike and get everything ready for assembly. So we're going to be ordering in a bunch of new stuff as well as unboxing all that stuff, seeing how it all looks, and cerakoting and doing all the bearings today. So it's going to be a ton of fun. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely ready to see this bike come together. It's definitely been a lot of work, but it's been really rewarding to see each and every part come out the way it has. And now I'm just ready to put all these parts together and get this bike ready to go. Okay, so I've laid all the parts out here on these tables, and why I did that is I just want to go over with you guys what we've already done and then what we still need to do with these parts, just so we're on the same page with everything in this build series. Okay, so both of these wheels are ready to go, and I'll have all the videos where I built this stuff down in the description for you guys. We got the brakes all ready to go, cerakoted them. I'm assuming most of you guys have seen the engine build videos, but we've completely rebuilt the engine, so it's all ready to go. This is one of the pipes I'm going to have for this bike. It's a FMF fatty pipe. I might still remove the nickel plating off this, but I haven't decided yet. So I have one of the silencers here. This is, it says titanium 2. It's actually a turbine core 2. I just couldn't find a sticker for it. But this is the one I'm going to be running on the trails because it has a spark arrestor. I am going to be getting another silencer to run on the track. So these bars here are the CR high bend bars. I really like the bend on these bars and the anodized red. I am not huge on the Pro Taper logo there in the middle, but you can't beat the anodized red and the CR high bend. As far as our frame goes here, it's ready to go. Just a little bit of dust from sitting that I'll clean off. And then we have our cerakoted and powder coated shock here in the back. And this is ready to go besides the upper shock bearing. So as we go over to this table, this is stuff that still needs some work. So we have the gas tank here. It's pretty dirty, so I'll clean up in the parts washer, as well as I'm going to replace the gas cap. And then the subframe's pretty much in the same place as the frame. It just needs a little bit of cleaning after it's been sitting. And here's the rear brake rotor. I haven't decided whether I'm going to replace it or just the front. And if you guys remembered from when I restored the Pro Circuit pipe, I was going to get a new label from them, but they couldn't send over a new one apparently. So I'm just going to see if I can restore it and get it back good enough to put on the pipe. These foot pegs are going to get powder coated. And all this wiring's functional. It just needs a little bit of cleanup. And I'll be cerakoting both of these triple clamps here. Most of these smaller parts are cleaned up. I'll just be doing the linkage bearings. So I definitely need to clean off these forks. You can see they're pretty dirty down here. I'm not going to mess with the valving on them at all right now because they were actually already valved for my weight when I bought them and they felt pretty good. So I'm probably going to hold off until I take them to the track and really test them out. And then these general plastic pieces here, the fork guards, rotor guards, chain guards, just going to get replaced because they're pretty beat up. As far as the swing arm goes, it was in decent shape besides this dent on the side here, but I found someone who's going to sell me one that's virtually brand new, so more on that to come, guys, but I'm going to be selling this one. The two radiators here, one was leaking, so I'm just going to replace them both since they're pretty beat up and dented. As far as this carb goes, I got an electron carburetor, so I won't be needing this one, but I'll probably still clean it up. Depending what plastic kit I get, it might come with a new airbox, but I'm still going to clean this one up just in case. And then the sprocket here I'll be replacing as well. Alright guys, I'm super pumped to get to work today. We got a ton of stuff to do. We got the bearings, the cerakote, the powder coat, and we're also going to be ordering in a ton of new parts. So let's get to it. I'm probably going to be starting with sandblasting the parts and getting them ready to paint. Okay guys, since I want to keep this video in a timely manner, I don't want it to get way too long. I'm not going to go over every single part of the cerakote and powder coating process, and I may leave out a couple steps. So just be aware of that, and I do have detailed videos on that, which I will have down in the description for you guys. And while I have these guys degreasing in the acetone and gassing out in the oven, I'm going to do some work in the parts washer. So this Pro Circuit label, I went ahead and powder coated it, and it really is going to be an experiment. I've never done this before, but I'm going to try and sand down the upper layer of powder coat, and we'll see how that comes out here in a second. But the foot pegs came out really good in the gloss black color. I really like them. If you look up closely, there is a little bit of orange peeling, maybe from a little bit too much powder coat on there, but other than that, they came out really good, and I'm super happy with it. So more on what I'm trying to do with this Pro Circuit label is I'm going to take a air-powered sander with 220 grit sandpaper and go up and focus on the top part of the label. So try and not touch the indents of the letters. Just get the top and get a brushed metal look on top, and then leave those areas untouched like they would come from the factory. And I'm quickly finding out with this orbital sanding disc that it's way too aggressive. It's grinding down the letters there. So I'm going to try this Eastwood contouring tool to see if it does any better, even though this label is already shot. So as you guys could see, I totally messed up on this. I grinded that R down way too far, and that Eastwood tool worked a little bit better, but still not perfect. But the point is, I totally could have edited this out and not shown you guys any of this, but I wanted to show you guys this because I want you guys to realize that not everything's going to be a success when you're building a bike, and that's how you learn to improve off of your mistakes, and you'll be better in the long run. Okay guys, so I got everything coated this week, and it all came out really good, but I think we're pretty much done coating everything on this bike. I can't think of anything else right now that needs to be coated, so everything like that is ready to go together. So after I showed you guys all those parts, I went ahead and I ordered up pretty much everything that I'm going to need for the rest of this build. So I have all that from Rocky Mountain right here in this box. And there's a few other things I'm going to hold off on today from showing you guys because I want to show you guys later on in the build series. Can't give it to you all at once here, but anyways, I'm going to show you guys what I have here. Alright, so to start off, I picked up a pre-oiled air filter from No Toil. This is going to help keep the engine clean. Then I picked up a ASV clutch lever. So these things are super nice to have because they're pretty much unbreakable because they bend in 4 directions and they have a lifetime warranty on braking. And we got the anodized red and the black look to match our other brake lever. Then with the new lever, it's always a good idea to replace your old clutch cable. So I picked up an all balls clutch cable. Then I picked up some stainless steel braided brake lines from Tusk in the anodized red color, and these things will just give me more feel on the braking and maybe a little bit more stopping power as well. And then I went ahead and picked up a new primary drive X-ring chain, and it's a gold color, so I'm super stoked about this chain. I think it's going to look great. When I get my new swing arm in, I'll be installing this new swing arm bearing kit, and this will help my suspension feel like new. And if this build doesn't have enough red already, I picked up some anodized red axle blocks. Then here, I'm super excited about this one. It is a Tusk gas cap, so it's machined aluminum. These things are pretty sweet. And then I also got a full linkage bearing rebuild kit. And then last but not least, I went ahead and picked up a upper shock bearing for my rear shock. Alright, so next up, I'm going to be rebuilding the linkage bearings using a socket. I'm not going to be rebuilding the connecting arm today because I'm probably going to be replacing it with something aftermarket, but I will be using it as an example here. And how this is done is I'll take one big socket and put it over one end of the bearing, and then I'll take a smaller socket that fits around the bearing perfectly and push it out in the vise. Before I can do that though, I'll need to pop out all the seals and end caps. Bearings are just falling apart here. And now that I have all the bearings out, I'll use that same method to press the new ones in. Now that we got all the bearings pressed in there, I'm going to grease up the bearings and press in our seals and caps. Alright, now the triangle piece of our linkage is all finished up, so I'm going to start working on the shock. This is going to be pretty easy. I'm just going to press this bearing in the same way on the vise, and then I'll snap in our clip. If you guys have been here since the beginning of this build, you know how much work we put into this bike and how great this transformation has been. So if you guys are ready for me to finally assemble this bike, go ahead and hit that like button.